this is our Bronco. It needs completely rebuilt. What it does need: new rear end, got the rear end. New old beams, got beams. New transmission, got transmission. New transfer case, got transfer case. New shocks, got shocks. New bypasses, got bypasses. The rear ends in the back that I can't just easily go to. But yeah, so this is the Bronco. Luckily, most of it's all bolt-on and should be awesome. Special thanks to Solo Motorsports. He's hooked it up with an engine cage. I mean, I paid for it, but he helped me out. King Shocks, thank you again. They also hooked it up, helped me out. Alpha Laser Cutting. This is the guy I bought all the parts from. I went to go buy a transmission from the guy, and it had a badass transfer case on it. The manual transfer cases are 10 times better. He also kind of conned me, sold me, made me a great deal on the beams and rear end with radius arms. So I'm excited. I've got a lot of little things to do on this thing. It's time to get started. So this whole build thing on the Bronco is going to happen hopefully kind of fast, and I'm going to try to video as much of it as possible, but it's just really hard to do this filming thing. And sorry, I'm trying to get the camera set up and actually finish a project. So I'm going to go over quick little things I'm doing. Honestly, I'm just taking the whole rear end right now. I'm starting with the rear of the truck because this actually takes some fabrication, and fabrication takes a little extra time where you can't really rush it because I'm going to have to weld and cut, grind the whole bit. So long story short, got the shocks undone, and I'm getting the sway bar off. A quick little tip: what I do when I'm dismantling a truck. So I got it apart. That's the sway bar. Sway bar, I might use this in the future, but that's not that important. I'm more focused right now on this bolt. That's a perfectly good bolt that can go in your toolkit when you're off-roading, and if you ever need it because you lost a bolt, something came loose or whatever, that's a perfect combination. Bolt, washer, the bit. I keep them together and throw them in a little tool bag, and they just go with me on the truck everywhere I go. Better than just throwing in the trash, and who knows, you might need it, or if you don't need it, somebody else you know might need it. So quick tip. Alright, another quick tip is when you take something off, like these e-brake lines that were mounted to the frame, so you don't lose your stuff or misplace it or can't find it when you're trying to do final assembly, just put the bolt back in its place so you have no problem finding it later. It's that easy, folks. So I'm making my wife work on her own Bronco. And this is... Oh, you're fine.
I don't want to get... I don't like spiders.
Okay, you gotta get...
Steven, something's moving! Like that. I know! This is
Acceptable. Just do it. Just work. Take it off. Okay, and then the other side. It's right here.
No, I know.
It's right here.
Oh, that's it?
I know. I know you couldn't figure it out.
I got it.
Do it. You following you?
Yeah.
Get up.
Need wine.
We're gonna pull the rear end out. So, yeah. No, I need to go this way. Okay.
Hang on. Here.
Now, it's time to put the new rear end in. We got a whole fresh rear end to start with, so that's good. So we're on night 2. Those are the leaf springs broken down. These are our Q80 leaf springs from Deaver leaf springs for the back of the Bronco. Basically, we're tearing these leaf springs apart so that we can cycle the rear shocks and everything cycles properly, and we can locate where the rear shock mounts on the axles need to be. Alright, so now we're going to take the center pin out, but before we take the center pin out, you kind of want something in here to stop everything from just exploding, because they're leaf springs and they have a little pressure on them. So I just got this vice grip deal. That's exactly what I was talking about. Springs out, stops it from ejecting and blowing our stuff away, and now you can kind of slowly like unspring it. And it's not as aggressive, if that makes sense. So now we can separate the main leaf that we need to cycle everything with without it falling away. And we're good to go. This is the measurement on the leaf springs. We need to make a block that's going to fit on the leaf spring. That's going to go between the axle itself and the leaf spring. So it's going to sit like that. So you can get an accurate bump measurement on what you're trying to, I don't know, an accurate bump measurement. That's the best way to describe it. So. Alright, so now we've made our spacers for the leaf springs. This is so we can cycle them. And what we're going to do is take the centering pin, bolt, whatever you want to call it. Stick it through your spacer that you made out of wood real quick. Stick it in the main leaf. And center it up on the axle. And you're on to step 96 of the whole process. But now you got your main leaf where you want it. You can start cycling your leaf springs and getting everything else mounted up. So do this on both sides. Get your hangers on. Start mounting everything up, and you're on to your next part of getting the shocks mounted where they need to be.